So, far away Nisha, favourite large cat?
Ooh. It's a tie between a snow leopard and a panther.
Not bad. Panther. It's always sad when an animal goes extinct, unless, of course, that animal is a rare testicle-eating species of vampire bat or something like that. With that in mind, it may surprise you to learn that the Caspian tiger went extinct partly because nobody gave enough of a shit to find out how many were left.
This sounds really sad because I love tigers.
It is, yeah.
When did it go extinct?
Well, according to experts, the Caspian tiger was declared functionally extinct in the 1990s, which may come as a surprise to some of the people watching at home, considering the picture of the Caspian tiger that is presumably behind me as I'm talking is in black and white. And that just goes to show how little people gave a fuck about this thing. Like, some of the only pictures of it in existence were taken decades ago, and almost all of them are of the same example of the species.
So it was declared functionally extinct in the 1990s?
Yes, which is scientists speak for there might be a couple left, but there's probably not enough left to continue propagating the species. So, but for all intents and purposes, it is dead, it is extinct, because even if there's any more left, it's not like we can do anything to keep the species line going. However, there is a glimmer of hope, albeit quite small, for the fate of the Caspian tiger in the form of a reported sighting in 2001, which sounds promising until you learn that that sighting was made from 2 miles away through a pair of binoculars at night.
Oh.
Yeah.
So not very clear then, really.
Yeah, like, if they even saw a Caspian tiger at all, for all we know, it could have just been a fucking bin that fell over in the wind. We don't fucking know, because it's like, it reminds me a lot of all those sightings that you get of the Beast of Bodmin Moor.
Oh, yeah.
It's really the Beast of Bodmin Moor. For Americans who don't know,
yeah.
The Beast of Bodmin Moor is a purported cryptid that lives on Bodmin Moor. It's supposedly a giant panther-like creature that stalks the moor and hunts sheep that no one has ever fucking seen, save for in like still images that are ridiculously out of focus and could be of fucking anything. And I can admit it's a very intoxicating thought to think, ooh, maybe there's a giant cat stalking the British moors. It's like, nah. What happens to the sheep? It's like probably a fox got them.
I mean, I make jokes. If I see like a light in the sky, I just go, oh, aliens. It's just probably an airplane or a helicopter.
Defo an alien.
It's just the thing of everything can be explained, usually.
Which is very boring. And humans are naturally inquisitive, curious creatures, so a mystery that can't be solved is like, it's a very enticing thought and something people like to think about. But now, the Caspian tiger, for all intents and purposes, is dead.
No.
There are no more left.
No.
There's that one sighting from very, very far away at night. And do you know what the worst part about the Caspian tiger, like, not being around anymore is?
What?
It's a really cool redesign of the tiger. Because the tiger, I say, has like a timeless quality to its look.
Yeah.
It's very iconic. It's like big, giant cat with orange and black stripes. Looks fucking sick. So you can't improve on that design. It's so perfect. I'd say I try to improve upon a tiger. It's like putting a fucking spoiler on a Lamborghini or something like that. It's like, it's perfect. It's timeless. But the Caspian tiger does have a detail I quite like, and it is a lion's mane-esque ruff around its neck. That makes it like it's got a cool beard.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it like a super wise tiger. It's like a wise Gandalf tiger, but it doesn't exist anymore, which is super sad.
Oh.
Pour one out for the Caspian tiger.
So you mentioned that the reason it went extinct was because nobody cared about it.
Yeah, and this is just one of those stories that just gets you down, because it's like, it's no one specific person's fault. It's just a confluence of events combined with just complete apathy from biologists that resulted in this thing like slowly fading into non-existence.
Yeah.
And it's just reported that biologists just didn't give enough of a shit about Caspian tigers to follow up on any reported sightings of it for like decades, basically. Meaning that the true number of Caspian tigers in the wild was largely unknown for many years, right up until biologists realised, oh shit, there's not that many left. And they didn't know this because we're not following up on reports, so they had no idea that the numbers were slowly dwindling.
Yeah.
And it's only when they noticed that reports of the tiger were getting fewer and far between. It's like, maybe there's something going on here. And they looked and oh god, there's like 8 left. That's not enough to continue a species. I guess it's dead. It's no one's fault, but maybe there's some responsibilities passed out amongst the people like, nah, fuck it, it's fine. And it reminds me a little bit of a story we talked about on the channel before, of like the last Tasmanian tiger in captivity, where it died because the handler forgot to open its cage door at night to let it into its enclosure. So it just stayed out overnight and froze to death.
Oh no.
It's just one of those things like, what just an ignominious end for such like a majestic creature. It's like it's fucking just froze to death. And it reminds me a little bit of, I forget the name of the species now, but it's this species of bird. I think it's the great auk, but it's a species of bird that was greatly valued by sailors because it was very easy to catch because they'd just sit there.
Yeah.
So you could just walk up and pick them up and put them in a bag and take them. And they were plentiful for a while. But then eventually the numbers started dwindling, which resulted in museums and taxidermists across the world going, oh shit. Well, before they go extinct, we better get some samples for our collections, which resulted in the few that were left being hunted to extinction by people wanting to sell them to collectors. And it's said that the last great auk that a human ever laid eyes upon was strangled by a sailor who sold it to a museum to stuff and put on display as an example of what the great auk looked like. So we could tell what it looked like after it went extinct.
Oh, no.
And the story gets just a little bit more depressing because the great auk that he strangled was sat on a nest of eggs. And you might think, well, what did the sailor do? Did he take the eggs? Did he just leave them? No. For absolutely no reason other than fuck that bird, he stomped on them, thus ended that species' line under the boot heel of a sailor who didn't give a fuck. It's like, you think, it's like, oh my God, that's so bad. Humans, man, what are we doing? And I heard some typing in the background. Did you check? Is it the great auk? Great auk. It's AUK, I believe.
AUK.
And then just put sailor strangle.
Oh no.
Am I right? Let's do some live fact checking happening in the video right now.
Yeah. In 1844, members of a small expedition found two of the birds on Icelandic island, strangled them, and crushed their only egg. And then, yeah, that way the great auk went extinct.
Yep. But to get back to the main topic of today's video, the Caspian Tiger largely went extinct due to complete indifference from biologists who were literally tasked with studying and tracking them. Or maybe it's not extinct, and like that soldier in 2001 really did see a Caspian tiger through his binoculars at that day, and the tiger's just really, really good at hiding. So far away, Nisha, during this video, I kind of went off on a tangent, which we want to do on this channel, and I spoke briefly about the great auk, and you did some live fact-checking on me during the video, which doesn't often happen, but thanks to our new social distancing measures that we had to implement for the safety of everyone involved with the production of these videos, like you just sat this so you could do that. So yeah, the main topic of each video on the channel is based on an article written and researched by me on the main Fact Fiend website, but we often, as people have seen during this video, go on tangents, and generally I'd like to say they're quite accurate. And they're usually based on things I've either written for Fact Fiend or just for the other websites I've written for over the years. So like, they're half-remembered facts that I recall writing about, but maybe don't remember specific details all that well. And we do endeavour to fact-check them after the fact. But something you've probably seen, Nisha, when you're doing like general housekeeping behind the scenes on the channel, is people giving us shit for having those minor details wrong.
Yeah. Like, even if I put a fact bar in just to correct you, people will be like, oh no, this is wrong. It's like, yeah, but it's like, we know it's wrong, that's why there's a fact bar. And a lot of the time, if we go on a tangent and the video is quite long anyway, and you're not accurate in what you're saying, I'll sometimes just cut that out and leave it in for the raw video. Yeah,
which you can check out on the Raw Cut channel.
Which, at the start of every Raw Cut video, we state that the facts might not be accurate. So we're like, yeah, disclaimer, it might not be accurate, but here you go, here's some extra footage for free. It does happen on occasion where you're not always right, so we just add in a fact bar to correct you, and usually it's fine.
Yeah, I've never claimed to be infallible, and I thought the concept of his channel was quite clear, of that it's a conversation between friends. But sometimes, like in a conversation, you'll meander and discuss other topics that you may not be all too familiar with, or maybe only remembering half the details of. And my thought process about it has always been that even if they're not as accurate as the main body of the video, they do tend to be the most entertaining parts. judging from the feedback we often get, it's like, yeah, I love the tangents. The tangents are my favourite part of videos. Please don't cut them out. We want to see more of them in videos, which we have to strike a delicate balance between. It's always really strange where, like, I've seen videos that you have literally put a fact bar below just saying, oh, there's this minor detail that Karl got wrong, or like correcting a date or a name or something like that. And you'll scroll down and you'll see people correcting the thing you've already corrected. But my favourite example has to be in that, I think one of the Jurassic World videos we did, where I mentioned that guy who grabs his drinks during the pterodon attack scene and runs away.
Right.
And Brad, who edited that video, found out during the research, oh, that's Jimmy Buffett who sang Margaritaville. And he owns a stake in the Margarita chain featured during that scene. So it's a cameo. So he wrote that in a fact bar below as I'm talking about it, thinking, oh, that's a neat little piece of information that I found during the editing process. The audience might want to learn. Every other comment on that video was just repeating that same fact. And I remember Brad, like, behind getting really pissed off. I was like, do people not watch the video? It's like, how do you think I fucking feel?
Oh, yeah, it's frustrating. It's like, yeah, we know. That's why we've put it in.
I get suggestions
this
for topics I've already written about. That's my favourite one. That's one of, like, if anyone's trying to contact the channel, you'll know that we don't take suggestions or requests. And that's because, one, I like researching, and the idea behind the channel is it's me talking about things that I'm passionate about, and hopefully that passion will carry over in the way I'm presenting it and make you, our audience, also interested in it, even if it's not a subject you particularly give a shit about. And two, because people always suggest stuff I've already done. Like I literally have had someone suggest an idea for a video. I got sent a link to an article. I'm like, oh, have you ever thought about doing something like this for the Fact Fiend channel? And it was an article I wrote for today, I found out. Like, my name was at the top, and they sent it to me. And at no point, I wrote that.
A lot of comments I noticed as well is people saying, hasn't this video already been uploaded? I'm sure I've seen this before. It's like, well, we've never spoken about it before, so I don't think so.
Because we mention it offhand, randomly, like we do, because we go on tangents a lot, in a previous video for 30 seconds. And then we turn it into, oh, we'll turn that into an entire full-fledged 15-minute video exploring the topic in more detail. It's like, well, I swear you've talked about this before. It's like, we did for 30 seconds. This is a longer video with a different title. Fucking hell. And it drives me mad. And if it weren't for the money, I'd fucking quit tomorrow. People respect honesty.